All right. I think we're live.
I
I see there's a couple people already in chat. Thank you for coming early. I saw you guys counting down. That was cute.
Can
you guys hear me?
Is everything
all good? Can you see
the
FAQ on the screen and everything else? It looks like it works now. Something wrong with my mic?
Oh
Oh boy. It's always got to be something going wrong, doesn't it?
Let me
Let me
pull
pull
up my stream
on my phone so I can
hear
what's going on.
Yeah,
but how bad is the echo?
I don't
I don't know why
it's
it's echoing. It shouldn't be. I only have one mic plugged in. Oops.
Okay,
that's weird. Why is it doing that? Oh, I can never have things go smoothly for a stream, can I?
No,
it's not okay.
It's
It's not. Hold on.
All right.
How?
Okay,
is that better?
Am I
Am I still echoing?
Nope,
It's still doing it.
God
God damn it.
All
right, hold on. We might be going to other. What if we do this? All right, did that fix it? Give it just a second. Because I unplugged my mic and changed. Oh my god. I don't understand what it's doing. Oh wait, hold on. Is that the problem? See, everything looks fine on here. I don't understand. No, it's really not. I know how annoying echo is, so I really don't want to do that. No, it's fine. You guys can talk while I try and figure this out. I don't know what's going on. All right, I'm gonna try stop streaming for a second. You guys can stay here. I'm just gonna stop streaming through my through OBS, and then see what I can do. Okay. Is that any better? Sounds a little bit better, I think. I think it stopped echoing for the most part. Yeah, yeah, it's still doing a little bit of echo. I think weirdly the problem might have been that I have this cooling mat thingy buzzed like sitting under my laptop, and I think that might have been the problem. I really don't know. I don't know what the issue was, but oh well. You guys can see the FAQ, so it's fine. I changed to a different scene in OBS. OBS really doesn't like me. Maybe I need to update it. Maybe that's the problem. Anyways, hello! Welcome to the stream! Sorry about that. I don't know what that was. Last time I tried to stream, my laptop literally overheated and almost exploded on me, and now there were two of me for a little bit. So, it's, whatever. People are talking about ships. The thing on my FAQ kind of probably prompted that, but that's fine. I like the ships. I like the self-love. It's really cute. If it's not clear by everything I do on the channel. So, this is just kind of a check-in stream, I suppose you could say. Obviously, I haven't been posting for the last couple weeks. That was because I was still at home, and recording was just too much of a pain. There wasn't really any place I could go in the house that would be quiet, and like in my room, even if like the other people in my house were quiet, it was still like there were trains going on. There would be people doing yard work or mowing their lawns or whatever, and it was just kind of like, I'm busy with my full-time job. I'm just gonna kind of pause for now. So I'm back at school now, and I have a single room, so I can record pretty much whenever. I still need to be, a little conscious of my neighbors, but the rooms are relatively, I can talk at a pretty normal volume and not have to worry about, being heard through walls, which is nice. And I have more time now that I only have 12 credits this semester, which is much less than I've had in previous semesters, and my schedule, obviously, because of the whole thing that's happening in the world right now, almost all my classes are online. So I have a lot of free time. So my goal is to start posting more than once a week. I would continue to post Podfix on Wednesdays at noon. Oh boy. All right, I think people can still hear me. It looked like it cut out for a second. All right, I'm assuming people can still hear me. I'm just gonna keep talking like they can. So I'm gonna continue to do Podfix on Wednesdays at noon, like I had been before. And then on Saturdays, I'm going to start posting some videos that are not necessarily Podfix, but things that I think fit the theme of the channel. I don't necessarily want to pigeonhole myself into just reading, Sanders Sides fanfic. As much as I love the series, and I will continue to do that for probably a long time, I want to be able to do other things as well. So kind of going to use Saturdays as my day to really just kind of test the waters with everything. So I've got a couple things planned. I have some games that I'm going to play, some Sandersides fan games that I found, and they look really cute. So I'm going to be able to do that. YouTube is being annoying right now. Why is my stream status poor? Excuse me. Anyways, so yes, I have a couple fan games. I also have some other fanfics from other series that I really want to read, because, you know, I'm not just into Sandersides. I have other series that I really like too, and I kind of just want to share my love of that as well. And hopefully there are some series that other people who follow me here are gonna enjoy as well. And I hope that, I guess my biggest hope is that people will tune in to the Saturday videos, at least give them a try. Because like I said, I don't want to be the person who's just doing one thing. And I want to be able to do a bunch of different things. And I feel like right now, the only thing really people come to my channel for is Sandersides, which is not a bad thing. But, I mean, as you can see in my chat, where people are just kind of talking about Sanderside ships, you know, it's very clear that that's what my channel is built on. I mean, my most popular video has, like, what, over 200,000 views right now? Never expected that to happen. That's still insane to me. So I guess one of the things I really just wanted to talk about real quick is kind of like, how does that sound to you guys? The plan of 2 videos a week, and one of them being a podfic from Sandersides, and the other one being something a little new and kind of testing out things, because you know, when I posted the Animal Crossing video, it didn't do super well, and I don't know. I don't entirely. There's several different reasons I can think of. One is that the video was kind of long, and, you know, it was for like 40-50 minutes or something like that. And, you know, I enjoyed it and listening to my banter with Elle, but it wasn't necessarily entertaining to listen to, I guess. We just kind of crack each other up and, you know, nothing else. So, you know, and then also there's the whole, like, Animal Crossing was very new, and so a lot of people, I think, avoided it because they didn't, I mean, not that Animal Crossing's a very spoiler-heavy game, but they wanted to go into it fresh and blind and, you know, whatever. So I actually have unlisted that on my channel. You can still find it. You can go to my channel page and look at my playlists, and you should see, like a Dragon Saphira Gaming playlist, or can't remember exactly what it's called, but something like that. And you can still find it if you really want to watch it. It wasn't very entertaining, in my opinion, but whatever. So my goal is to do a couple more gaming videos, but do it a little more entertaining. Play games that I really enjoy, or things that I guess I think I can push myself with. So things where I can voice act, or just kind of do a bunch of different silly voices or a lot of narration or whatever. And I'm open to playing really anything. I don't want this to become a gaming channel, but I do want to be able to do some of that content, especially some of those more like RPG type games where there's a lot of reading. So yeah, what else? Yeah, Chloe, you're allowed to ask questions. You know, I just put the FAQ up because those are questions that, I mean, I frequently get asked, and it's not, I mean, you know, I don't mind people asking me questions. It's just, you know, those are questions that I know people want to know the answers to, so I just put them on there. But if you have other questions, heck yeah, send them in. I'm reading the chat as I'm talking, so I should be able to see them. Mathlete, could you list a couple of the games that I want to play, are you thinking? let's see. I mean, I don't necessarily want to do them specifically, like Undertale or something like that. Like that has a lot of talking and stuff, but I've already played that game or seen how it ends, and so part of that game I think is being able to see or hear the shock, of like all the twists and turns in that game, because it's a really good story and a really good subversion of the RPG tropes. So. But games like that, I never played Deltarune, so maybe if people are interested in that, I would do that. Let's see what else. I have a couple, like I said, I have some Sandersides games that I found on Tumblr, and there's a couple more actually that are in production right now. Oh, Flowerbeth, preferred pronouns. Yeah, right. I should put those on my FAQ. She, her, or they, them. Either one. Let's see, what other games? I mean, I definitely want to do some Minecraft, just like, maybe that would be more of a stream thing, just kind of more chill, talking and whatever, maybe playing with some of the other people on my Discord server, because that's fun as well. There's questions in the chat, let's get to that real quick. Do you think that Janice is the mom of the crew / sides? Not particularly. I know mom seat is a thing, and I think it's cute sometimes, but I personally think that Virgil was the oldest of the dark sides, and so he kind of took care of them. You can read I Am Creativity for a little more of that, and I'm going to be going over it even further when I finally post my roll swap fic. So, there's a whole long headcanon about that. I could spend the entire stream just talking about that, but I won't. But not necessarily. I don't think he's the mom. I think he may be like the wrangler now, but I don't think that was always the case. Cat Kit, why do you call us your gemstones? Because I'm a dragon, and I hoard my precious gemstones. So, yeah, that's where that came from. Video President, have you ever considered reading a fic with someone else, like a collab where you and a partner voice different characters? I mean, I'm open to it. If someone approaches me and is like, hey, do you want to do this fic, or do you want to do this whatever, then I'm open to it, but I will say I've been burned in the past with projects similar to that, so I'm a little wary of it. It really would need to be something that I would be able to talk with the other person about, like, privately. Again, I'm not against it, but I need things to be very, very clearly laid out ahead of time, who's doing what and whatever. Shadowstorm, would you ever play FNAF? I mean, maybe. I feel like I wouldn't be very good at it, and I've watched Markiplier play it, and I've watched almost all of Matt Pet's theories on it, so I don't know if the shock value would really be good with me playing that. I also feel like that game is only really fun if people do a face cam, and I'm not super comfortable with myself and with my appearance to do a face cam right now, but maybe in the future, who knows. Any Sandersides fanfic recommendations? Oh god, not at the moment, because I haven't really been reading Sandersides fanfic recently. I went down a rabbit hole of going through my old fanfic likes on fanfic.net, so I've not been reading Sandersides fic right now, but I will say if you are into soulmate tropes, then you can definitely go over to the Tumblr blog TS Ship Month 2020, because we currently have an event going on that is run by my wonderful mod, Raven, or Untypically Typical, if you see them in the chat. And, yeah, and I'm helping out, but I'm really just, like, reblogging stuff that people ping me, and I'm not actually participating in the event, unfortunately. I burned myself out a little bit with Fluffy, so not going to do an event like that again, but, yeah. I didn't scroll down for a while. Hold on. Deltarune. Are you planning to play the Sandersides RPG? You're going to have to be more specific, Ava Studio, because I have 2 currently, but there's another one that's, like, still in production. I think that one is called Snake Me Proud Son. I think that's the one that's Is that the one made by Pixelfy? What's that studio? What's it called? In that case, no, because it's not out, but I will. I'd like to. Do you like MHA? I haven't seen it. I'm not against seeing it, but for one, I don't really have a place to watch it. I don't have Crunchyroll or anything. And also, I don't know. I guess I've been rewatching Fairy Tail recently. That's my dose of shonen. Do you think you'd have your own sides? If so, what would your sides be? I mean, I haven't really thought about it that much, honestly. I think the only thing that I've really thought of in depth is that my negative thoughts are a bitch, and that my creativity is just one. She's got ADHD to hell and back. She can't focus on anything. Who's your favorite YouTuber? Oh, Flower Bath. You gotta give me a genre or something. I can't give you one distinct answer for that, unfortunately. Ava Studio asked if I would dub some comics. I mean, if someone really wanted me to dub their comic, then I definitely could. But comics, I feel like, would require a little more editing, and for me to really do them in a way that I want to, I feel like I would want to add, like sound effects and possibly some background music or whatever. So yeah. I'm not gonna go out of my way to ask people who draw comics if I can dub them, but if someone approaches me, is like, I really want you to dub my comic, like, I'm not gonna, say no out of principle. Oh, my computer's frozen. Hold on. There we go. It's frozen again. Scroll, please. Thank you. Did you have a channel before this one? No. I have technically another channel, but there's nothing on it. It was just like a YouTube account that I used for a while. But I've been using this one since years. Yeah. Have you ever met Thomas? No. I would love to, but not in the current world. I'm sorry if I mispronounced this. Limery? I'm sorry. Face reveal? Maybe after I start working out. I'm really not comfortable with it right now. Who else thinks Logan is the youngest? Since you develop logical thinking ages 5 to 7 and Virgil oldest, you develop fear at 10 months to 2 years. I definitely agree that Virgil, as representing fear, would be older. However, I disagree with Logan being the youngest, because he doesn't just represent logic. He, to me, represents that desire to learn, those pattern recognition abilities, those, just taking in information and curiosity, and that exists pretty much since you're born. So I wouldn't say that Logan is the youngest. I would say that creativity is probably the youngest. And even then, creativity really starts to come in when you start to have the fine motor skills to, like, play with blocks or color with crayons or markers or blah, 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 Start to tell stories and understand language. That's not necessary for creativity, but I think for Thomas's sake, if he likes to tell stories, that would be part of it. But, yeah, I agree with Virgil being the oldest, for sure. For me, it's Virgil, Patton, and Logan are the oldest, with the twins, Janice, and my orange side are all younger than them. Jade is asking if I would read your fanfic on the channel. I have a link to a Google form, that's the word, where I take fanfic requests, and you are, more than anyone, is more than welcome to suggest their own fanfic, and that's fine. It really depends on if I like it or not, and if I think it's a good fit for the channel. But once you finish it, you're more than welcome to send a link my way so I can read it. For games, are you thinking more of longer games or shorter ones? Probably shorter ones for now, like ones that wouldn't take more than a couple parts to complete. I'm willing to play longer games, but I definitely think that because I upload, that's going to be uploading once a week, and the podfic is going to be uploading once a week. I don't necessarily want to get myself into a game like, say, Ace Attorney, which I adore, by the way, and I really want to play Ace Attorney on the channel because it's just so much fun. But that, I mean, if you look at playthroughs online, that is like, God, can be 100 parts sometimes. So I would love to do it, but I feel like I would need to have a more frequent upload schedule in order to play longer games. And same with longer podfics as well. I don't want to get into a 50-chapter fic, especially if the chapters are longer, just because if people aren't interested in that one fic, then they're stuck not being able to really watch anything on my channel for like months. So, yeah. Shorter ones for now. But, if my schedule changes and it starts to become more open and I can post, 3, 4, even 5 times a week, then that might change. Oh, it bumped me down again. I can't stay, on one part for too long. If you had to be with a side for a day, who would it be? Janice or no. Janice would probably get on my nerves. Honestly, Logan, for sure. I feel like I could have intelligent conversations with him. I don't know if I could do that with any of the other sides. Someone else who watches Fairy Tail. Yes, I just started rewatching it, over the summer, and God, I love it. You should, you should see me in my Discord server, though, because there's a channel that we have for just other fandoms, and I have been ranting every single time I finish an episode where I'm like, this world building doesn't make sense. I want to redo it. I want to redesign all of all of the celestial spirits. I want to rework how Dragon Slayer magic works. I'm just like, this sucks, but I love it and I want to make it better. Who knows if that ever comes to anything, but if you want to read those rants, you should check the About page or the description of any of my videos and you can join my Discord server. Would you ever read fanfic full-time or as a side, hobby? Doing it full-time has weird implications to me. I do have ads on my videos, but I feel like if I were to do YouTube full-time, I would have another channel with more, original content. Things that don't necessarily rely on other people having written stuff, because it just feels weird to me. Actually, speaking of that, the eventual goal, and this is at least a year from now, but the eventual goal is that once I move out and I can get a camera and stuff, I will start doing in-person videos, and I'm going to create a new channel. And pretty much, I'm going to start making videos on there that are about a whole bunch of different topics. Cosplay and sewing in general and things like that. Maybe and move the gaming stuff over there. Keeping the videos that I upload on this channel here, but in the future, uploading them there. And then leaving this channel as purely podfics. Just because then it's a little more pure. If someone doesn't like the other content that I'm doing, they can just follow my podfics. But again, that's at least a year from now, and I don't know if that's ever going to come to head because I am going to get a full-time job, and who knows how life is going to work. Layla says, even though Janice is the shortest, they're all the same. They're all Thomas. They're all the same height. I respect your opinion if you think Janice is the shortest, but he does not have short energy to me, so I personally despise that headcanon. Nova Knight, have you watched Haikyuu? I have not. I have a friend who is he's really into it. Actually, I have a couple friends who are really into it. I don't know. I might. I did. That's the volleyball one, right? Yeah. I did play volleyball for a while, like as a kid. So I know how volleyball works. But it's kind of the same with like Free, the swimming anime. Like I swam in high school, so I don't know if it's gonna be one of those things where I'm just like, that's not how swimming works. That's not how volleyball works. Like it's not this dramatic. I don't know if it's gonna irk me more than anything else. But I'm willing to try it. I don't know. Rose asks if the sides have a deeper meaning to them than just their side titles. Well, yeah, that's been said in the series. Patton is more than just morality. He's also Thomas's emotions. Roman is more than just Thomas's creativity. He's also his ego and his femininity. Like, yeah, they have more than one role, more than one responsibility. It won't let me scroll up and down. Thank you, Tina. I'm glad you have fun reading my rants. I enjoy it as well. What made you, Rose, what got you? Oh, you missed a T and I got really confused. What got you listening to Standard Sides and what made you start reading aloud fan fiction? I don't actually listen to Podfix. I don't listen to any audiobooks whatsoever. I actually can't pay attention to them. But ever since I was in high school, I really just thought it was a really cool idea to be able to create audiobooks for fan fictions, because obviously, you know, for an actual published book, you can get an audiobook made, but fan fiction you don't really get that. And there were just some really cool fan fictions that I was like, man, if people, you know, maybe they're super long, and if people can't sit down and just pay attention to these and, you know, have the ability to read them, then it sucks that they have to miss out on that. So that's why I wanted to do that. Someone asked if I've seen Banana Fish or Yuri on Ice. I have seen Yuri on Ice, except I watched it as it was airing, but I never watched the last episode. I know what happens because I saw a million GIFs on Tumblr, but I never actually watched the last episode. And no, I have not seen Banana Fish. People are asking about least favorite sides. Yeah, mine's probably Virgil or Patton. More Virgil than Virgil's more like, I don't like how the fandom treats him. Like, they treat him as like this just soft, you know, baby who just needs to be coddled, and it's like, I get that they're probably just projecting, you know? But at the same time, I really don't like it. Because anxiety is not just like, you know, soft boy needing to be cuddled. It's you know, he can get angry, he can lash out, and he does in the series, and people just kind of ignore that, and then they get mad at other characters doing the exact same thing. It's a little off. Patton is kind of the same way. I dislike that the fandom almost takes him in the completely opposite direction and makes him like super unsympathetic and like abusive, and it's like, are we watching the same show? Like, I don't understand where it comes from at all. I get that, you know, they probably were annoyed that like Patton was always treated as like this fandom angel, but yeah. And Canon Virgil, I mean, he's fun to write. I will say that. I've been writing a lot of him in Roll Swap, and he is very fun to write. He's so angsty, but like not in like a really shallow way. He's fun to really explore. It's fun to explore his relationship with the other dark sides, and not in a oh, they were mean to him, so he left. Like, I have a different view of that and how Virgil left and how that all happened. And Virgil was just as mean to them as they were to him. And that's not to say that they're bad people for doing that either. It's just the dark sides are not, in my headcanon at least, the dark sides are not really good at taking care of each other and like being kind and apologizing. They're not very good at that. They kind of just like, they do things because it will benefit them, right? Like Janice does things that will benefit Janice, Remus does things that'll benefit Remus, etc. They only really work together if they both know that they will mutually gain from it. They don't help one another just out of their kindness of their heart or because they like each other. Again, that's, my own personal headcanon, and maybe canon will contradict me, who knows. But yeah, that's the big difference I see between the light and the dark sides, aside from like, how the light sides are trusted, and Thomas likes them and wants them around, and the dark sides don't. How everyone thinks Virgil left the dark sides because Janice and Remus were abusive. Yeah, toxic relationships, I believe that the relationship was toxic, but that doesn't necessarily mean that like one was abusive to the other. It can mean that both of them just like butted heads a million times and were just almost like cared too much and also just couldn't express that at all. And so it ended up being where they were just like yelling at each other because they weren't able to really say any of their true feelings, and it just kind of gets worse and worse. That's kind of my goal with my role swap fic. I don't know if anyone here was in the stream, that was like a year ago, where I talked about that, but I have an ongoing fic that I'm writing where the sides wake up one day and they've gotten each other's roles. So in essence, the light sides become dark and the dark sides become light, and they kind of understand where each other is coming from and kind of they'll come to a consensus, of course, because I don't write sad endings, I write happy endings. Well, yeah, everyone makes the sides a little bit different because there are going to always be characteristics that they like and that they don't, and it'll cause the image of the side in their mind to change a little, and that's no different with myself either. But yeah, Jade says, I think Virgil left because Thomas accepted him as part of himself. Does that make sense? I mean, yes and no. That's another thing. I don't think that Virgil... So, a lot of people portray Virgil getting accepted as his room shifting, right? Like, his room just, like, all of a sudden just, like, moves from the dark to the light. But I don't see it like that. I see it more as Virgil's room stayed in the same spot, but the light came to him. So originally, in my mind, the three light sides have their rooms like basically right above the common room in roughly the same orientation as like just Thomas's apartment. And then further down the hallway, the light kind of starts to fade into black, and about in the middle of that is Virgil's room. And then further on, it kind of becomes like a dark maze, and that's where the three dark sides are. And so when Virgil got accepted, the light just got brighter outside of Virgil's room. His room didn't move at all. He didn't change. It was Thomas's perception of him that changed and his understanding, and so that's what the light symbolizes. And so in Role Swap, when Thomas eventually kind of accepts the dark sides for who they are and what they do for him, their rooms aren't going to move, but the light, it'll light up. Their surroundings will become light, because currently they live like in complete darkness. Anyways, that was a long thing. I'm going to take a quick pause. I'm just going to get up from my chair. Don't worry about it. Take like 30 seconds. I need a drink. Come up with some more questions while I do that. Okay. Yeah, I enjoy talking about my headcanons, but I understand, obviously people are gonna have different opinions, and that's fine. I'm no different than anyone else who kind of gets really into their own mind and their own headcanon and kind of can't see it anywhere else. Nova Knight, would you rather read a romantic fic or an angst fic with fluff at the end? Are you talking about for the channel or just in general? Because for me, it depends on what mood I'm in, honestly. Sometimes I really want to read a cute, fluffy romance fic. Sometimes I really want to read a mutual pining fic that lasts for like 100,000 words because I just want to suffer. And sometimes I really want to hurt, angsty. So really depends. And in terms of the channel too, I guess it depends on what the angst is. As long as it's more than PG-13, or not more than PG-13, like I'll read either on the channel. Depends on what I like. Flower Beth, how many fandoms are you a part of? I'm not really active in any other fandoms besides Xander Sides. There are shows that I watch, or like, things that I've read that I enjoy, but I don't really create content for them. Do you play Minecraft? I do. Not often, but like I said, there's a Minecraft server that I have Afterwood. I'm not sure how to say your username. I'm sorry. Afterwood created a server, but then I decided the ping time was bad, so I paid for a server, and so now we have a Minecraft server. I don't hop on too often, partly because of time, partly because I've been playing other games recently, but yeah. They all become light sides eventually. I mean, the term light side is purely fanon, right? I believe that they will be accepted, not necessarily redeemed, but accepted for who they are. And I think that that's a good thing. Will they become light sides? Well, what does that even mean? There's no canon definition for that. If you're talking about, like, will the sides all become friends? No, I don't think so. I think there's always going to be issues between them. But will the sides all be able to work together for the benefit of Thomas? I believe so. Yes. It's going to take a while, and there will always be issues because, that's what it is. But that's what the series is about, is self-acceptance and learning to be at peace with yourself and even your flaws and working on them. So, yes, in that respect, they will all become light sides. But we got a long way to go first. We still haven't met the final dark side, so yeah. People are asking about Patton and Roman and stuff after the last episode. Guys, trust Thomas and Joan. They know what they're doing. They'll cover it. They'll cover it. No worries. It will be taken care of. I'm like 99% sure that the next episode, which is a two-parter, will be a Roman room reveal. So we'll get closure on Roman. Don't worry about it. Petition for Remy to become a side? No. Thomas has said no to that, so no. We don't need that. Remy's fun. Remy's hella fun to play with, and I love putting him in AUs, but he doesn't need to be a side. I don't know why he would need to be a side. Lamari, are you asking me if I'm 13? Who are you asking that to? Given some anime recommendations. Black Butler. Given. I haven't heard about that one. Death Parade, Tokyo Ghoul. Angel Beats is good. Oh, Angel Beats makes me cry every time. It's so good. Let's see, what others? What other animes? Angel Beats is really good. I also like Cells at Work. That one's really cute. God. I mean, like I said, I've been into Fairy Tale a lot recently. But you said besides Fairy Tale. Eh, there's one other series. Oh, Soul Eater. Soul Eater's really good too. I enjoy Soul Eater a lot. Mathlete, when did you find out about your sexuality? High school. And, once I found the label, I was kind of like, oh, I should have realized this years before I actually did. So, oh, you're talking about Roman possibly ducking out? I don't think that that's going to happen, at least not the same way that it happened with Virgil. I mean, they even bring it up in the episode where Virgil ducked out that, like, it's a for this episode thing. So I don't think that that's going to happen. I definitely can see Roman kind of, like, I mean, he's already lost confidence in himself, but, like, I can see it kind of coming to a head. I don't think that he's going to duck out and completely disappear from Thomas. But I'm curious. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I can't predict much of anything right now. Virgil was probably a gray side since he used to be a dark side, and the dark side's names end with us, and then the light side's names with Anne or Owen. I don't really subscribe to that theory. It doesn't really make sense to me because we saw Virgil as a dark side. We saw him like that at the beginning of the series. Like, he was what Thomas would consider a dark side. I think the names Thomas and Joan are just dorks, and all of the names have Greek or Roman origins. They're just dorks who are coming up with really dorky names, and I love them. Who do you think will be in the next Sanders Sets video? God, I don't know. I mean, Roman, obviously. I think Patton. Logan, probably not, just because it's probably going to be a very emotionally charged episode, and he's not very good with that. If it's a Roman room reveal and anything to do with being creativity, there's a 50-50 chance of Remus showing up, I would say. Because if you're talking about creativity, you really can't leave him out, or you at least have to discuss him. Virgil, maybe. And Janice, I don't know if Janice being there would help or hurt at this point. I really don't know. So yeah. But there's a couple of sides videos that we need to get through first, and Thomas has given us no clues about that. So I really want an episode or an asides where Janice and Remus interact, please. I want to see their canon interaction, please. There was a thing up here. Who do you think the orange side is going to be, or do you think there's an orange side at all? Yes, there's an orange side. Yes, there is. It's been foreshadowed. It's been said in member live streams. Yes. There is an orange side. My personal headcanon is Obsession, which you can read about in my I Am Creativity fic. But I've seen a whole bunch of other things, and I think whatever the side is, I think that he's going to be something that Logan can't necessarily defend against or has a hard time reasoning with. Because the other two dark sides, he can pretty much, get rid of them on his own. But I think that the biggest way to show Orange as a big threat is to show Logan, being overwhelmed. So, yeah. Thomas set a side that wasn't in the last episode is going to be the newest side. So, yeah, we have three options. We have Virgil, we have Remus, and I guess kind of Logan. I don't know if Thomas is... Well, I think Joan said it. I don't think Thomas said it. I don't know for sure, but... Logan, I mean, he was, but he also wasn't, physically present. Or, they might throw caution to the wind and introduce Orange in his sides. I doubt it, but I'm not throwing anything out the window at this point. So, yeah. I think Remus already got accepted. Previously, the accepted sides all revealed their names in the same episode. Being accepted means that Thomas likes him, though, and or at least understands what his purpose is. And I wouldn't say that he's at that point yet. So no, I wouldn't say he's accepted. I think he's started that arc. He started his arc, but it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a long while to do that. Jade, yeah, it's been confirmed. I mean, there's the teaser, the what is it, 07334 clue in the most recent episode, and in several member live streams, they have said that there's another dark side. So I guess we don't technically know that he's orange, but like they've got a rainbow thing going. It would be really weird to make him any other color. So yeah. Yes, Thomas said he was excited to see Janice and Remus interact, and I'm excited too. Like, it's probably gonna mess with my headcanons about them not really liking each other, but I don't care. That'll still be my headcanon. I don't care. Yeah, the cameo was in the video game fighter segment. There's the score is 07334, which is if you type that in a calculator and turn it upside down, it spells hello. So it's the orange side saying hello to us. I find it so cute, but kind of also ominous at the same time. Is there a release date on the asides? Not an official one. I think that they said that they were hoping to be done editing it at the end of September, but yeah. That don't take anyone's word on that though, because we all know how that works. What's your favorite Sanders side song? I don't really have one. I'm not the biggest fan of the music in this series. Like, it's fine, but I don't know. I get some weird, like, almost secondhand embarrassment. So I don't really listen to the songs. What are your thoughts on Logan angst? My thoughts on any angst are, if it's done well, then hell yeah. But if it's done lazily, then I'm gonna avoid it. I don't like lazy angst. Yeah, I like the idea of them both getting along and, like, being a dynamic duo, but I also like them, just kind of, like, being really, I like, just not, like, mean to each other, just, like, they don't necessarily care about each other. Yeah. Emner, you can look at my FAQ. I don't really have a favorite ship for each of the sides. I like all of them, honestly. They all have their own merits. They're all really cute. Logan angst is great when done right. Any angst is great when done right. The problem with angst is that it is very, very, very easy to do lazily. It's so easy to just, like, throw in some, sadness, or like, oh, boo-hoo, I feel so sorry for myself, or some bullying, or whatever. It's so easy to throw that in, but it's hard to make it work. So, yeah. I like unpopular ships like Rose Seat, but that was ruined. I mean, I honestly wouldn't say that any ship is unpopular. I mean, I guess unless you're counting, like, OT3s and OT4s and stuff like that, because, like, it is harder to find people who ship, like, the 3 or 4 or 5 people specifically. But in terms of pairings, I think that it's, almost every ship has a lot of love for it. Have you listened to the Sides playlist Thomas made? I've listened to some of them. I didn't really pay attention. The only one I listened to almost fully was Janice's, and that was because I was literally staying up. Or I wasn't staying up. I was awake anyways. But like I was messaging my friend Elle, and I was like, I swear to God, they said that they were gonna post it on Sunday, but they're gonna wait until midnight to post it. Lo and behold, I was right. They didn't post it until 12:01, which was technically Monday morning. I don't know if they did that on purpose or if it was just kind of getting late and they were like, hey, we could do something really devious. Either way, but yeah, I cannot believe that Janice managed to out Broadway Roman. I think Janice has more Broadway on his playlist than Roman, which is a little weird. I also listened to some of Remus's. Not all of it, but I kind of just skimmed through and listened to some songs that sounded cool. Kind of angsty. Honestly, some of them kind of got angsty. I want the Orange Side to be best friends with Remus. You should read my Role Swap fic when it comes out then, because Remus and Otto are, like, much closer than any of the other Dark Side relationships. Strawberry Bagel, it took Virgil a ton of episodes to get accepted, then Remus got accepted off the bat, then Janice got accepted after just a few episodes. What makes you think that Janice and Remus are fully accepted? What makes you think Virgil's fully accepted? The thing with acceptance is it's not a one and done deal. You know, it's not like you hand them a badge and it's like, all right, you're accepted now. You're a full-fledged part of me. Thomas still has issues with them. Sure, they revealed their names, but I think that more resembles trust from the side to Thomas rather than the other way around. And Thomas has a while to Thomas has a way to go to accept all of them. And I think it's going to take a lot of breaking down the things that he's known basically his entire life and coming from the three light sides. It's going to take a lot of work from them to be able to accept wholeheartedly everything about himself. Well, Flowerbeth, Remrom is kind of an exception. Because they're twins. So... Oh, I keep scrolling down. Where are the Sandercide Songs podcast thing? Are you talking about the Sides playlists? They're on Spotify, but if you search like character name Sandercide's playlist, you can usually, I think you should be able to find compilations of the playlists on YouTube. People just basically took the playlist from Spotify and just compiled the songs from videos that were on YouTube. So you can look at them that way, or if you have Spotify, you can check out Thomas's profile. Hey guys, please don't quote songs in the chat. It makes it hard to read. Yeah, Rose, you can listen to them on YouTube as well. Like I said, you can Google or just search in the YouTube bar the playlist, and you should be able to find it. So maybe they got kind of accepted, but not completely. There will always be issues. It's very confusing, slippery slope. Exactly. It's not something that they can just do and be accepted. And sure, Janice and Patton maybe had a breakthrough, and I think that that's going to be very important going forward. But they also had to step backwards with what happened with Roman, and they need to deal with that before they can move forward. And it's always going to be like that, like 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of thing. And it's trust Thomas, guys. He knows what he's doing. Joan, they know what they're doing. Are you going to delete this live stream after the live stream is done? Nope. I always unlist my live streams, and you can find them on a playlist, Dragon Saphira live streams, just on my channel page. I don't like them cluttering up my video thing, but you can find them if you really want to listen back to them. I don't really think that anyone should be considered a dark side. No side is actually trying to hurt Thomas, and all want to benefit him, though they may disagree with his methods. I agree that no side is evil. No side is trying to hurt Thomas. dark side and light side just more as a reference point. Just, when referring to them in conversation, like if I say the dark sides, and I'm talking about like a fic or something like that I'm writing, and even if it's in an AU where like that term doesn't really apply, like if I say dark sides, my friends know that means Janice, Remus, and if I'm including him, Otto. Like, and if I say light sides, then that means Logan, Roman, and Patton. If I say core 4, that means, those 3 including Virgil. Like, it really is just a descriptor for me. I don't like when it's used as like a gotcha term, like, oh, you're a dark side. So, yeah. Roman came up with the names dark sides because of his bias. Exactly. Yeah. Well, and the thing is, too, it's only been said twice in the series. Once by Roman when he made it up, and once by Thomas in, I think, the end of Dealing with Intrusive Thoughts, when Virgil reveals himself to be a former dark side. Like, that's the only time it's been used. I mean, they use it outside of the fandom or outside of the series when they're talking about, like, when they're doing member live streams and such. But again, they say, they just use it as a descriptor, as a reference to the characters that they're talking about. They don't use it as like a damnation type of thing. Roman was basically made out of the idea of black and white thinking. That's why Roman and Remus split. Yeah, I mean, we don't really know what the split actually looks like. It could be purely metaphorical, and that they developed separately, but they just kind of both represented creativity from the start. There may have never been an official split, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, King creativity was a thing and then he split. I'm not the biggest fan of that. Mostly because I think that if he split, it would have been very, very early on in Thomas's development, like kindergarten, and that's not a lot of time for a full-fledged side to really kind of have developed. So in I Am Creativity, single creativity did exist, but he wasn't king. He was just creativity. They didn't have names back then, in that fic, in that headcanon, so yeah. That's what I have to say about that. Although I will say I do have a human version of King that I use for the twins' dad sometimes. His name is Andreas, and I love him so much. Is King creativity even canon? No, he's not canon. He's just so fanon at this point that most people seem to think that he's canon. But what we know in canon is that Roman and Remus... Logan referred to them as twins, basically. So we don't really know much about how they developed, if there was a single creativity at one point, or if they developed as two separate sides but kind of the same. Yeah. A lot of people talk about Roman being a black and white thinker. Well, he is. I mean, that's not incorrect. I definitely think Remus is a little more, like, open to the whole gray area of the morality, but Roman is very much, like, he's always been lauded as, like, the good creativity. He's the one who they come to for ideas, and, that's hard. Yeah, so, I mean, he is a black and white thinker. We saw that, and we've seen that in many episodes, actually, but we saw that most recently where he's like, you can't be on his side because he's a dark side, and so he's automatically wrong. Like, that's pretty black and white thinking. But I agree that I don't really like the idea of King creativity in canon. I will say I use him, for one of my AUs, where he was like a deity, and then he split and became Roman and Remus. But that's not anywhere near canon. So, do you think the sides lived in a different life, and when they died, they got a job without pay? I don't know what headcanon you're talking about, but sure, I guess. Who do you think the canon ship is? There's no canon ship. There is no canon ship. The canon ship is Thomas and self-love. Self-acceptance. It's a very long way to get there. But, yeah. How much longer is this going for? I don't know. However long my voice lasts, honestly. Roman's trying... I think he's in the future going to try to... He's trying to... He got his whole world rocked last episode, and it was too much to handle, so it kind of broke him. But I think that might have been for the best, because sometimes you need to break something before you can, build it back better. So, I don't like that a lot of people blame Patton for the split, thinking Patton is to blame, and they hate him for it. I think that Thomas's morality and the morality that he was, taught by his parents, by his church, by his whatever, I think that definitely played a role in him developing two creativities. Because I don't think that would have happened if he wasn't raised with this idea that thought is equal to action, So, do I think that Patton intentionally did it? No, absolutely not. But I do think that was a cause. But a lot of people use it for cheap angst, and it's annoying. Thomas said Princiety and Logicality is real one time. No, he didn't. That was a fake tweet. So, no, he did not. That was a fake tweet. It's been disproven multiple times. What would you say is the biggest step in self-acceptance? God, that's a heavy question. Really, I think realizing that you have a problem at all. Because you can't work on something that you don't realize is an issue. So, I guess that, because once you have the issue, you can discuss it with other people, you can go to therapy, you can, whatever, like, you can start to accept it, but you can't do that without realizing that there's an issue. Joan once said to Thomas that he was the prince to their anxiety. Yeah. I got confused with pronouns for a second. Yeah, I think that Joan was more just kind of, because that was filmed back in the early days where like Princiety and Logicality were the only ships people shipped. So I think Joan was just kind of playing off of that. All the sides had a human life and were not always with Thomas, but when they died, they were to pick to be a light or a dark side. I mean, that would be an interesting AU. I don't think that that's canon, but I mean, it's a fun idea to play with. It made me sad that Logan got ignored so much. Your thoughts? I mean, he's my favorite, so obviously I don't like seeing him get ignored, but it makes sense. The whole discussion was so emotionally charged and just really like, Thomas was trying to listen to his heart. He was trying to figure out, what he wanted to do, what was the right thing to do. Logic, unfortunately, doesn't play a huge part in that. And so, I mean, I think back to some of my bigger, moral dilemmas, and like, sure, you can have that logical, voice in your brain trying to convince you about a certain, that a certain thing is better or whatever. But in the end, it's really not up to logic as to what you pick. So as much as it hurts, I think, it makes sense that Logan was ignored. I don't think it would have made sense that he would have listened to him more than at the very end. But I do hope, I really want, like, I said this in the Discord server before, but I just want an episode, or like even in asides, where like Logan gets to help with a problem that he's able to help with. Like, not an emotional issue, just like, I don't know, some, like, Thomas is playing a puzzle game or something and Logan needs to help him. Like, that's all I want. I just want the baby boy to be able to help. Atlas, I do not draw the covers for my podfics. They're drawn by a couple different people. There are, I don't know how well you can see them in the thumbnails sometimes, but there should be signatures to for the artist that they drew for all the different podfic covers. The only one that I did draw is the Keeper of Dreams. I did draw that one, but I haven't drawn any of the others. If you want to draw a cover for a podfic, might I add a little self-promo here, you can join my Discord server, and if you get the role Saphira's Helper, you'll be added to a chat category where I'll post when whenever I need a new cover drawn. So if you want to do that, go ahead. Do you like the idea of Virgil playing Just Dance in his room? I've seen several theories of like what Virgil was doing, what Virgil and Remus were doing when the whole SVSR thing was happening. They're all hilarious, honestly. Like, I think it's, oh god, I saw one where Remus was the one driving the trolley and he drives it straight into Virgil's room and he's like, he does the whole Mean Girls thing, like, get in bitch, we're going shopping, or something like that. It's so funny. I love that one. It's honestly, yeah, anything like that is kind of funny. I don't think we're all gonna get a canon answer, but I don't really think we need one. They were just chilling. Personally, I do think that Virgil was just, I think he was asleep during that episode, personally. Simply because when you think about the emotional state Thomas would have been in at the time, he was at the wedding, he was stewing in all this anger and regret and, all this stuff. And, maybe his anxiety was telling him, like, oh, we could still make it, we could still do this, blah, 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 blah. But by the time he gets home, it's done. The callback time has passed, the wedding is over, and Virgil's job is done, pretty much, for that night anyways. So I personally think Virgil was asleep during that. Or at least just chilling and kind of like, not relaxing, but just resting. Because, yeah, I don't think that he needed a voice in that conversation. It just wasn't his thing. I already answered this, Nair. I'm not against doing comic dubs, but it's not something that I will necessarily gravitate towards right away. But, like, if someone draws a comic and wants me to dub it, like, I can do it. I'm fine with that. But, I enjoy doing podfics a little more. Whoops. How can you draw cover art for me? You should join my Discord. That is where I do things, and that's where I talk to all the people who volunteer to draw for me, because it's just easier to have one place where I can just ask, and then I can move into DMs kind of to talk about, like, ideas and directions that we want to go, or like things to add from the fic, or details or whatever. Do you have any personal theories that stand out? I mean, most of them I think I've talked about, really. I mean, I think that, I mean, my theory, I mean, Celine, you can find the link to my Discord in my About page on my YouTube channel or in the description of any of my videos. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've talked about most of my theories. I think really the biggest thing is the orange side. Really how he is going to appear. I definitely think that it's possible that he might even show himself to Thomas and kind of show himself as a good force, like pretending to be something that he's not. My personal headcanon for him is that he used to be a light side, and so when he introduces himself to Thomas, Virgil's not there, and he appears and introduces himself as the old light side that he used to be. And they're all like, "Oh my God, you're back! Like, we didn't know where you went. We didn't know what happened. Blah blah blah." And then, you know, Thomas talks to him, and it's all cool and whatever. And then eventually, in the episode, Virgil pops in, and he's like, "Oh my God! Like, this is not the person you think it is. Like, he's not. He's changed." And then he reveals himself as whatever dark side he represents. Personally, my OC, my orange character, that's not what OC stands for, but you know what I mean. My orange is Obsession, and he used to be a light side called Passion. And he also represents a lot of Thomas's anger and things like that. So, because I know anger is a very popular headcanon, but I don't think it's enough. I think that orange is very likely to represent Thomas's anger, but I don't think that's the only thing he would represent. And I don't think it would be his title either. But I really think that he could be part of that. What's your opinion on Remram? They're siblings, and that's gross. That's about it. Obsession could be raised positively. Yeah, it could, but I don't know, in my headcanon, he introduces himself as Passion, who just kind of disappeared one day, and they're like, "Oh my God, like, what happened to you, blah, blah, blah." And yeah, I don't think it would work out well, because if the dark side's goal is to get Thomas to trust them, I don't think that lying about who you are is going to help, but not that he thinks about that. And then, I mean, if any of you read or listened to I Am Creativity, you already kind of know this, but Remus and Otto are, like, much closer than really any other of the dark sides. Even more than, like, than Virgil and Janice were, because they grew up in the dark, cold dark side, and it was hard to really ever bond when they were just bonding out of pure survival, basically. They didn't really have a bond out of love, you know, whether it's platonic or romantic in nature. They needed to stick together because otherwise they might not survive. Creativity Twins is fantastic. I love them. That's why a lot of my AUs deal with the twins, because I love them. Yeah, so Atlas, the way that it's phrased is Remram is the romantic ship that some people ship, and then Creativity Twins is like what people use to refer to like the platonic brotherly stuff. Just so you know, because if you kind of go around saying, "Oh, I like Remram, but like platonic," then people might get a little confused. Not gonna lie, I already shipped the orange side with everyone. Pretty much me. Yes. I mean, I already ship him with Janice and Remus. Because because those three, they're just really cute. When I was writing Role Swap, I did not mean for them to, I did not mean to ship them, but it ended up happening. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to roll with this because it's cute. So for Thomas to accept the dark sides, the others would have to as well because they are a part of him. Well, yeah. I think that that's how it works. I think that they would at least need to be able to. They would need to be able to see where the dark side is coming from. They would need to understand, like, okay, maybe these methods that you've been using are not great, but you've been using them because we haven't been listening to you normally. So, what you want for Thomas is good, and we can agree on it or find a compromise. We just didn't agree with your methods. But now, if we can talk, then you don't have to use such extreme methods. That's kind of how I see it. I don't think every single side has to be on board with it. Because clearly, Patton kind of started to see eye to eye with Janice, and then Roman absolutely did not. But I would say, Thomas appreciates him, or at least, appreciates that he was looking out for him. I don't think he trusts him because, he's deceit. I don't know how that would happen, but what's the Discord server called? It's called the Dragon's Horde. You just need to click on the link in one of my video descriptions. The Creativity twins also just acting like one hating the other while the other just annoys and taunts the other. That's just sibling culture. Like, honestly, I just want to see more of the twins because I want to see their sibling culture. Thomas has siblings. He knows exactly what that's like. God, I want that. I want it in the sides or something where we just get to see them interacting. It's very cute. Marlo asked if I'm a multi-shipper. Take a look at the FAQ and the second question. I think that'll answer your question. What episode was I talking about with Roman dropping out? I'm not talking about an episode. Do you think Roman will duck out? I talked about this earlier in the stream, but no, not in the same way Virgil did. I don't think that term will be used. I don't think it'll ever be used again in the series. I think that he's definitely suffering from some issues, and he's kind of let those kind of take over him at this point, and I think his self-esteem is in the ground, but I don't think he will stop doing his job. I think he's just gonna stop, or he's gonna lose his faith in himself that he can do his job. He's gonna keep trying, but he's got creative block, I think, right now. How do you feel about Patton and Janice? They give up a divorced parents vibe. Yeah, they're cute. Mostly it's cute. Especially after the last episode, it definitely gives off that vibe. Wouldn't say it's my favorite ship, but I like it. It's cute. I think there's just, I don't know, I like exploring Janice's platonic relationships with all the other sides, because it's just so interesting. Like, he is the character who I feel like will have the hardest time cracking his shell, and it'll be fun. The next step is a sides episode, so we will see all sides. Probably not. My guess is that it's not going to contain all the sides, and it's not going to be like, we're not going to get a full body shot of all the sides. I'm guessing. I don't know for sure, but just thinking in a more meta, behind the scenes perspective, like, Thomas probably has to record mostly on his own. Maybe he can have Joan there, but I'm thinking, like, I know Talon has health issues. I don't know if Joan does too. I don't know how safe they feel about that. So, maybe Joan's on a Zoom call while Thomas is doing his stuff, so he can, like, call out, like, redoing lines or laugh at flubs or whatever. But I think I don't know. I think it's going to be different, but at the same time, Thomas said that they're trying something new this episode that they've never tried before. And I don't know if that means something simple. Probably not, knowing them. Probably not. But it might be. I don't really know. I don't know who will be in it. I don't know what it'll be about. I doubt we'll get any closure because I really doubt Roman's gonna be in it. Well, maybe he will. I don't know. Roman has had so many issues in the last episode that I don't know if they're going to want to hold on to that character development or if they're going to try and kind of baby step their way towards it. I don't know. We're going to have to see. We got to wait and see what this Asides coming out is going to be like, I think. Can you play Club Penguin? They made a reboot online. I mean, maybe. Club Penguin, I played it, but not a lot. I honestly played the DS game for it more. There was like one, what was it called? Herbert's Revenge or something like that? I don't know. But it was like a series of like missions as for the spy thing. And you like worked with different Puffles who had different abilities. And that was really fun. Didn't play the actual Club Penguin all that much, honestly. Atlas, how often are you going to do live streams? I never want to miss one. Well, I appreciate that. I kind of do live streams on a whim. Usually I try to at least schedule it for, at least a half an hour ahead of time. But not always. Sometimes I schedule it further ahead. Sometimes I have a lot more viewers than I currently do. I don't really care. I enjoy talking to any amount of people, but I don't have a strict schedule for live streaming, at least not at this current moment. I just kind of do it whenever I feel like I want to talk to people and not just like in my Discord or whatever. Celine, like I said in my FAQ, I love all the ships. Pretty much all of them are great. If you had to pick 3 ships to be your favorite, guys, you're completely disregarding the fact that I can't pick. Well, how about, what's the ship with all of them, including Orange? Let's say that. That's my favorite. Not including Thomas, but all 7 of the sides. Because it's cute. And I guess, some of my favorite OT3s are Anna Royalty and Intru Low Seat. In my Royal Tutors AU, that's the ships that are there. And I really enjoy those, because I think that they play off of each other super well. Yeah, DRO Lamp. Yeah, I like that one. It's cute. I'm just kind of trying to go through my AUs and see what ships I had in there. I think that's probably about it. D-Lamp, DR Lamp, just Lamp. I like all the multi-ships, honestly. Like, I don't really necessarily gravitate towards pairs at this point. At least for this fandom. Just because there's so much good chemistry. I feel so good hearing my preferred name. That's the same way I get when people call me Saphira, because it's not my given name, but I love it anyways. Thoughts on pansexual Patton? Honestly, I don't really have any sexuality or gender headcanons for the sides, aside from the fact that they're all attracted to men. That's pretty much the only thing that stays constant, and that they use he/him pronouns. I'm not a super fan of like people or just like headcanons that are like the sides use different pronouns just because it was said so explicitly in the, what was it, changes, I think, that they all still use he, him pronouns no matter what they look like. I don't know, just I guess something about that stuck with me, where I just really dislike the sides using other pronouns. Gender bends are a little different because I kind of see those as like a redesigning of the character as if they had been designed as female in the first place. Whereas trans headcanons are more like taking the character that we see in the show, but like actually they're trans female. Like, not a huge fan of that, and I'm not the biggest fan of gender bends for this fandom either, but it doesn't irk me as much, I guess. So if the sides, or like Remy and Emil or whatever, like if they're trans male and use he him pronouns, that like hell yeah, I'm so down with that. It's not something that I gravitate towards and like do intentionally in my fics just because I'm not trans and I don't feel like that's really a story that I like. I don't want to tell a story about being trans if I'm not trans, right? But I'm down for if other people do that in their in their fics or in their AUs or whatever, like, whatever. But I just I tend to avoid fics that don't use he him pronouns for any of the characters Thomas has played, I would say. Yeah, and making changes they used he when they were representing Joan. Yeah, because it was still the sides. Like, they looked like, I mean, they were being played by the Friends, but, they looked like the Friends, but they weren't actually them, and so didn't use their specific pronouns. So, yeah. That's my feelings about that. I mean, yeah, possibly Flower Beth. I feel like people kind of tend to write what they know. There's a reason that Ace Aero Logan is my personal headcanon because I project onto him a lot. It doesn't really come up all that often, mostly because I also like shipping Logan with people. But in my Beauty and the Beast AU, he's Ace Aero. And it does come up, well, I need to rewrite it. But when I rewrite it, it'll come up in the story. I didn't get that far before when I wrote it the first time. Are you aware that you are the best YouTuber ever? I think you're a little biased. But thank you, I appreciate it. I don't know if I'd consider myself the best YouTuber ever, considering I haven't uploaded in like a month. But yeah. You guys have any other questions for me? I think I'll start winding it down, but if you guys have anything else you want to ask me, this stream was kind of I was gonna talk a little bit about the different AUs for Fluffuary, because I'm gonna be doing some bullet fics on Tumblr. My Tumblr is in the description of all my videos in case you ever want to go check it out, but we kind of get away from that, and that's fine. Not a big deal. I don't mind that. But yeah, all right. I'm not seeing any other questions, so I will start to log off. I really appreciate all you guys coming. If you want to talk to me more, I am pretty much active daily on my Discord server, and I also do live streams every now and again, and I'm going to be start posting videos again, probably starting next Wednesday. Not tomorrow, but next Wednesday. I need a few days to settle into whatever my new school schedule will be. So, do you have certain Disney songs for the sides? I wouldn't say I have Disney songs for the sides. I definitely have different Broadway songs for my AUs, though. I've got a couple for Roll Swap. I have a few that are just kind of like general Darkside songs. I don't know. I have a playlist where I have like CMV songs, and I just kind of like imagine like an AMV in my head, or like an animatic in my head. Have you read The Gold of Your Heart? It's Rosita Slowburn. Nope, never heard of it. But you can definitely rec it to me using my Google form in my About page or in the description of my videos, because I'm always down for recommendations. I'm also down for recommendations for other series as well. I think I posted a community post a while back, right? I put a picture up of the series that I know well enough that I could read fanfic of. And if you know of any fanfics in those series, like, hell yeah. Next Sandersides fic you're gonna read? I feel like I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna keep it a surprise. Rest assured, it's amazing. And it's really, really cute. And of course, it's slightly angsty, but with a mostly happy ending, because that's all I ever read for myself. And it focuses on things that happened after the latest episode. That's what I will say right now. All right, people are heading out. It's getting kind of late for people, I'm sure. So I will start to log out as well. Thank you all so much for coming. If you want to ask me more questions, again, you can hit up my Discord. And I'll see you all later. Have a lovely night, my lovely little gemstones. Bye.